My name is Scott Vanderstoep. I'm the Dean for Social Sciences at Hope College. In February 2016, I was privileged to spend several days in Vietnam with 5 student athletes from the University of Michigan. This video is produced to highlight several experiential opportunities that will likely be a part of a Hope College May term in Vietnam. We hope to visit Vietnam's 2 biggest cities, Ho Chi Minh, formerly Saigon, and Hanoi. We also plan to visit Haiphong, the country's northernmost province on the China border, and also Da Nang, the site of much military and American history. This May term will attract many students from several different areas of academic inquiry, including social work, psychology, nursing, history, and international studies. I hope you enjoy this video.
Hi, Scott? Yes, yeah. Welcome to Hanoi. Yeah. One thing I can assure you from the very beginning, Vietnam is very different than North Korea. Yes.
It is the anchor of hope, so I hope
you
you will
so much.
find a place for that.
Yes.
On the first day, we were able to spend the morning at the National University of Humanities and Social Sciences. The departments at the university were similar to the departments you would find at a liberal arts school in America. I had the opportunity to meet my counterpart, the dean of this university, and I presented him with a gift on behalf of the college. On behalf of Hope College, I'm pleased to present to you a watercolor that was produced by a Hope College staff member. This is the arch, and on the arch it says Hope College. This is where Tuan's daughter Aing walks every day, and I hope that you will enjoy this and remember us, and perhaps this is the beginning of a partnership between Hope College and your university. So thank you very much.
Đây là lần đầu tiên mà trường Hope College có.
Currently inside the Peace House in downtown Hanoi. This is a shelter for victims of domestic violence. Currently there are 9 women, 3 children living here. There have been as many as 33 at any one time. The location changes from time to time to protect the women. We arrived at the place where we thought the house was, and we were rerouted to this location. We don't film from the outside to protect the women.
Cố gắng nói tiếng Anh nhé, còn có gì em hỗ trợ thêm nhé. Life and food and training, vocational training and Thuy in 20 last we choose the resident go to the center.
Everyone's ready. They're not smiling, but they will be when they get. We left Hanoi yesterday at 6 a.m. and we got in about 8 p.m. So it was a 14-hour drive through some roads that we probably wouldn't see in America, but everyone made it through it okay. Tell us what we saw along the way.
Yeah, it is very far and difficult road, but we are very close to the border with China in a restricted area, actually the border area. The student will see real life activities, and here they will organize a trip to the health station at locality and will talk to the real people, ethnic minority who work there days and nights to improve the health of local people.
One of the most moving experiences of this trip was the very long and grueling ride to Haiphong province. This is a restricted area for which we needed to be given an access pass from the local authority. We were one of the first, if not the first, Americans to visit these facilities in this region. We also had a state security escort in case we were questioned about our presence in the area, which is not commonly visited by Westerners. The Ethnic Midwife Project is sponsored by the United Nations. One of its goals is to promote healthy birthing practices with a minority group in this region called the Hmong. The second health center was called the Pho Khao Health Center. The Hmong people live in a way very similar to how their ancestors lived 1,000 years ago. It is a very undeveloped region of the world, with farming practices and other activities of daily living largely unchanged for centuries. Bringing health services to a remote, developing, and underserved area brings with it many barriers. The challenges included a geography where women had to travel a long way and also difficulty transporting the women. Are those similar challenges that he faces? And the second question is it the goal to try to get the women to deliver here in the clinic like it was in the clinic we visited this morning?
So to answer the first question, the difficulties are similar here. It's like the common difficulties in most of the places. It is also about the long distance that the midwives have to travel. In here, the farthest village or hamlet is 8 kilometers from here. And some villages or hamlets take 1 hour to travel for the midwife to walk. So it's also a difficulty. And for the second question, yes, their goal is also to encourage 100% of the delivery to take place at the medical center of the commune. Because the midwives meet with a lot of difficulties with very limited supporting allowance, like nearly $28 that we talked about. So it's not enough for them to travel a long distance all the way to the households, and they encourage strongly to deliver the birth here.
We are here with James Engels, Hope College class of 2015. We are doing day 3 of our visit to Vietnam. We visited 2 medical clinics, and we also just did a home visit at this house here in the village.
The village is called Sua Ba Bê.
And it's been really a fascinating experience. James has had a lot of experience in Hanoi. He's lived here since the summer, and this is my first time here. James, describe a little bit about what you saw here and maybe how that differs from Vietnamese life in the big city.
Right. So we're actually in a village right now that's populated by an ethnic minority in Vietnam called the Hmong. The Vietnamese people themselves represent about 80% of the population of Vietnam, but beyond them, and particularly in the far-flung rural areas like where we are right now, it's mostly not Vietnamese people. So these people have a different lifestyle, they build their houses differently, they do farming differently, they're adjusted to life in the mountains much differently than the more urban, the more lowland Vietnamese people are.
After our clinic and home visits in Hai Giang, we got back in the vans for a grueling ride to Hanoi. We're grateful for very skilled drivers who were able to navigate tight, windy, and mountainous roads that took us back to the airport. The trip was breathtakingly beautiful, if not a bit stressful.
It is 7 o'clock on day 4. We've just arrived in Saigon, had about a 6-hour drive from the northern provinces to the Hanoi airport, and then an hour and 45-minute flight here to Saigon. Much hotter than in Hanoi, and much hotter than in the northern provinces. So tomorrow we will go to the Cu Chi tunnels and explore the city of Saigon.
The first morning in Ho Chi Minh City, we woke up to make our way to the Cu Chi tunnels.
Củ Chi.
You move down? Okay. You have really gonna talk. Thank you. Look at them. Okay, Scott.
This is for you, Hope College.
You are very handsome.
Yeah, look at that.
Good.
Yeah. The elbows are not really going.
There you go. Okay, Scott. Okay.
Anh cầm đi, anh bắt cho.
No, dude, I don't think so.
Communist fighters known as the Viet Cong, or VC, dug these tunnels beginning as early as the 1940s. These tunnels were in many ways self-contained communities. They had living areas, hospitals, cooking facilities, and places to produce munitions. These tunnels provided shelter and obscurity from American troops during what the Vietnamese called the American War, and from the French before that.
Can you talk?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
We're about to go into the Cu Chi tunnels, 1.2 meters high. I'm very anxious right now. VC troops waged surprise attacks and then could disappear into the tunnels. These tunnels also provided shelter from extensive aerial bombing from U.S. forces. In fact, people in Cu Chi spent much of their lives underground for safety. These tunnels are now a popular attraction for international and Vietnamese tourists. As the U.S. increased its military presence in Vietnam, the Viet Cong troops expanded the tunnels. At its peak during the American War, the Cu Chi tunnels grew to 250 kilometers, stretching all the way to the Cambodian border. All right, I'm going to take the shorter cut because I'm older.
Keep moving. Way.
Okay, I did the 20-meter version. The University of Michigan students are doing the 60-meter version.
Well, they are?
I'm old.
I think they're over there.
I'm taking the shorter cut.
I'm standing outside the Social Protection Center in downtown Ho Chi Minh City. We've just had some time with some of the children here. These are children who would otherwise live on the street, been abandoned, perhaps their parents have died. Some of them come from very poor families and spend the days here and then perhaps go back home to their families at night. The rest of them stay here. Around 4 o'clock this afternoon, in about an hour, many of them will head out into the street and do their street vending to try to make some money for themselves or their families. This has been a really moving experience. This would be a great educational opportunity for Hope students. These children will really tug at your heart. James, you're a recent Hope College graduate, 2015. You now live here in Vietnam. What advice, as a graduate of Hope College, would you give to future Hope College students who might be contemplating study abroad, and particularly a possible study abroad in Vietnam?
So I would say if you have any interest in social protection work, public health, history, sociology, political science, anything within the humanities or social sciences, essentially, as well as anything related to public service, you should definitely at least consider coming to Vietnam.
How did Hope sort of feed you and animate you toward a life of both service as well as a life living far away from your hometown of Holland, Michigan?
So I'll address the students here. I know Hope harps on the liberal arts thing a lot, but it really, really is important. And for me, it was extremely important because even though I came from a humanities background, I sort of discovered late in my college career that I wanted to be involved in something essentially bigger than myself, something that has to do with helping people and expanding internationally. And so because I was able to pursue a lot of different interests at Hope, I was able to come here and adjust fairly well. Furthermore, my liberal arts education helped me with learning languages, knowing how to write, which will be important in my coming UN work, and a host of other skills that I've been able to put to good use in Vietnam, despite the fact that they're not directly what are considered employable skills.
If you would like more information about the Vietnam study abroad opportunity or one of the 80-plus opportunities to study internationally at Hope College, please see Amy Otis in the Office of International Education.